Okay, back to this. Assuming I'm live, which it looks like I am. It's the MapleLocke, the challenge where I try to play through 9 Pokemon games in a row with some Canada-themed restrictions on the teams that I can use, and death rules lifted from the Nuzlocke challenge. We're on game number 2 out of 9 right now, gold version. I just barely started it last time. It looks like I am live, but I can't actually see the stream. Hang on. I just barely started this game last time because I had some time of day sensitive stuff to do. The first 2 Pokemon to catch. Hi, Raymer. In this playthrough, we're in the same area, but at different times of day. So, day 109, that is correct. So, I got London, the Spinnerack, and now it's time to go and catch the one other thing that I can use before Falkner. And then this is going to be a slog, I'm going to be honest. There's probably going to be a lot of grinding because I'm going to have a bad team for Falkner. Might also have to mess with the controls a little bit. My keyboard is doing weird stuff again. Caterpie, right. Uh-oh. Yeah, I said, because I noticed this Pidgey was at a higher level. You know what I might do? I have a lot of in-game daytime left. I might actually do a little bit of training with London before I try to catch a Caterpie. Hopefully not 45 minutes. A lot of grinding? It could be more. We'll see, I guess. Okay. Oh, catching Caterpie. Oh. No, Caterpie is common in this game, I think. It's definitely not a 5% encounter this time. That said, I think I'm going to train London to like level 5 before I go back up there. That's only a couple levels out. And I don't think these Pidgey have a flying type attack yet. And they can miss Tackle. That would be nice, considering that it does a third of London's HP. What? Okay, I poisoned it. This is going to be harder than I realized. Even beating these Pidgey is a problem. And I only have so many berries and potions, and I only have so much money. Actually, I can get a couple more berries, I think, because it's a different day. I can get one on this route, then if I want to brave the other route, I can do that. But yeah, I might need to adjust my plan here already. Because with a berry, it was just barely all London could do to actually beat this Pidgey. Okay, but almost leveling up from one Pidgey is good, because London gets stronger every time. I'm going to go to the Pokemon Center. Yes, already. And then I'm going to give London another berry, and if we can beat one more Pokemon that's level 4, and even though resources are pretty limited, this might be enough progress to get moving. Also, I could run into a Sentret. I don't know if Sentret is as strong as Pidgey. But wow, what if I get crit? We're not going to dwell on that. But what a scary what a scary battle against a wild Pokemon very, very early in the game. I'm trying to think about whether there's something weaker around here. Like, there's Caterpie, but I don't think I want to go to the next route yet, and that's where they are. The next route that I can access to the north of here has, like, Jigglypuff, Spearow, and Geodude. Jigglypuff is relatively weak, but those others are not. Can we grind on something not a Pidgey? That was too close. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I guess we'll try a Sentret. How much does this Tackle do? The same. Uh-oh. Raymer, I think I just have to hope that I don't get crit. Or... there's one other option. Okay, I poisoned it. That's very good. I get my berry here. There's one other option, which is to brave the next route and catch the Caterpie anyway. And then at least I have another Pokemon if it goes wrong. Alright. One more tackle. The Eccentric probably only no tackle. That might also be true of the Pidgey, I don't know. Were we speed tying? I'm gonna use another berry. Okay, that drops the poison damage. Okay, that's level 4. Maybe I make another attempt at catching that Caterpie right now. Because, yeah, a crit in either of those battles could have ended the whole run, the way things are at the moment. We can't have that. It's very awkward when I can't use my starter. I mean, I can do some things with my starter, but it's more in the spirit of the challenge if I don't use my starter for this. But it's very awkward. I'll also see about getting another berry while I'm on this next route, because I'm already about to run out. It might actually be optimal to do this grinding over a bunch of different days, but that would be annoying, so I hope not. This is a Pidgey. I don't think I'll try to fight it. Oh, it's a level 2. I will try to fight it. That's what I need, huh? Level 2 targets instead of level 3? Or 4? That only does 3 damage with a tackle. Even a crit would do not much more than the level 3 ones were doing earlier. And that poison chance on Poison Sting really comes in handy, although I haven't poisoned this one yet. W level 2 Pidgey, that's right. Yeah, I'm already going to give my current last berry to London pretty soon. Okay, we beat this Pidgey. This is definitely a new Pokemon playing experience for me. I've never had this much tension dealing with a bunch of level 2 and 3 Pidgey on the early routes. Okay, and the reason I went up here is there's another berry tree over here. I got one more berry from that. I don't know if this guy in this house gave me a berry, but I don't know if it's repeatable. No, it's not. I didn't think so. Now I'm looking for a Caterpie. I wasn't this scared Gen 1 throughout the playthrough? Yeah, because I could use my Charmander for these things. My Charmander got super strong, you might recall, because I just trained against wild Pokemon while I was searching for a Caterpie forever. By the way, maybe we are repeating that. I haven't encountered one yet. Anyway, another level 2 Pidgey. And we poisoned this one, so that's good. There are only 2 generations where I don't get to use the starter. Gen 2 and Gen 4. This is the Gen 2 experience. We'll see if I get to Gen 4. At least we get to admire this blue and purple Spinarak some more. Not shiny, that's just what color the sprite is in Gold and Silver. Oh, almost level 5, but not quite. Alright, I'll give this my last berry. Might as well use them while I have them. Next encounter is another Pidgey. Caterpie is a daytime encounter, right? It's not morning only, I don't think. I did look it up like last week. But I think that's correct. You'll be like half here, you're going somewhere? Alright, well, glad to have you here. Feel free to look up for me whether I'm right that Caterpie can be encountered in the day on this route, and not just in the morning, because I think I'm right about that. You know what? I'm gonna go to the Pokemon Center, just because I don't want to use my berry. Trying to run away from another level 4 Pidgey immediately. It's the last berry I have. Yeah, chat, tell me if I'm mistaken about when Caterpie can be encountered, but I think I'm not. Okay, immediate encounter here during the day. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There's one. Now, the awkward thing is if I poison this, especially because I've been using up my berries, but I have 2 potions, so it should be fine. I could try throwing a ball immediately. I'm not really sure why I didn't do that. Let's try right now. There's nothing else to catch for a little while anyway, so I can get more Pokeballs. Okay. Choke twice. I'll Poison Sting again. Ideally, I don't poison it, although if I do poison it, it's easier to catch, so that's something. The Poison Sting's just the only attack I have. Okay, I do poison it. That's probably fine. Throw a ball. Of course, there's no Nuzlocke first encounter rule. I could just run if I poison a Caterpie and then find another one until I don't poison it. But nah, I don't want to do that. And then I think this is probably actually the best route to train London some more, because some of the Pidgey are at level 2, and there also are Caterpie, which I can probably beat pretty easily. Okay, caught this one. Montreal is back. Needs to get evolved into a Butterfree again, of course. But there we go, our first returning Pokemon from the Gen 1 part of this challenge. And I will immediately go to the Pokemon Center. 8 HP, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Okay, we're fine. Alright, yeah, next priority is training London some more. And then I can think about training Montreal. Look at that, 2 different party sprites for bugs. They really upped their game in Gen 2. I might as well go deeper into the grass, though. Instead of just up and down in that spot. Oh, Metapod, that is perfect. Because it shouldn't be able to attack. Like in Gen 1, it should only have Harden. I think what I'll try to do is poison it, and then actually switch out to Montreal. I might as well spread the experience around against this very easy target. Okay, poisoned it there. And make a little switch. For the most part, I'm focusing on training London right now. Look at that Caterpie back sprite. For the most part, I'm focused on training London right now, but I might as well take this opportunity while I have it, yeah. Have I had any thoughts for the Wolfie Subserver Timmy Cup now that it's official? I was trying to make a sand team, and then some of what I wanted just didn't really work together. Like, the team had some pretty terrible anti-synergies that I couldn't figure out how to fix, so I'm probably using Rain instead. I think Rain looks pretty strong. What are you on, Raymer? I liked Sand in theory because it seemed like people were thinking up a lot of weather teams, and Sand matches up favorably into 2 other weathers. But I guess Rain does as well. Say that again real quick. I was trying to make a Sand team, but I couldn't figure out a way to make it actually good. There were a bunch of... the Sand itself had a bunch of anti-synergies with other things I wanted. So I pivoted to Rain, and I'm probably going to be using Rain. I don't know, I've made one team. I don't think I'll put a ton more effort into it. Anyway, we got London to level 5, so that's progress. W Rain, you're probably using that? Nice, well we'll see what we each come up with for it. I wonder whether I could take on a level 4 Pidgey yet. I'm still a little scared. But London's leveling up pretty quickly right now, so we'll get there. I'm not going to go much further right now because I'm not sure I'm ready for youngster Joey, to be honest. But maybe that'll come sooner than I think. I don't know, Butterfree before youngster Joey might happen. His Poison Stings are already hitting harder, though. Just Swampert, Pelly, and Arch is really strong, yeah. Agreed. And then it can combine with some other things that look pretty strong to me, without, like, sand breaking my focus sash and stuff. That kind of thing was a problem in the first team I was working on. This Metapod just doesn't want to get poisoned. There we go. Might as well get Montreal a bit of experience again while I have such an easy target. Oh, and it feints to poison damage right there, so I switched in at the last opportunity. Got Montreal to level 4, nice. Good progress for both of my bugs so far. But Faulkner's going to be so scary. I think there's a lot of grinding to do before Faulkner. And I'm not even in a rush to get into a trainer battle at all right now. The rest of your team has been a revolving door with mons like Snorlax, Arcanine, and Golurk. Interesting, we've gone in different directions then. I'll say that. Snorlax, Arcanine, and Golurk have not been on my radar. Okay. I think by the end of this battle, London will have used up that last berry, which is okay, because I'm probably getting to about the point where I'm not that dependent on berries anymore. There goes that Pidgey. That should be good for level 6. I think I can start trying to take on higher level Pidgey now and at least see how that goes. I can probably run from them if it's not working out. One mon I think could be good is Hydrapple, as most moves aren't 100% accurate. That's an interesting thought, yeah. I think the only problem for Hydrapple is that it's slow and it has a lot of weaknesses that opponents can target pretty easily. So I'm not sure how useful it is outside of Super Sweet Syrup, but it might be worth looking into. I have to go to the Pokemon Center pretty soon, actually, because I'm running low on Poison Stings. Well, I guess I've only used like half of them, but I'm burning through them quickly, it feels like. I crit this thing, but I still didn't poison it. Okay, it's poisoned. Will it drop to the poison damage this turn? At that range, I think it might. Yeah, well, that's okay. London gets all the experience for this one. Not a problem. Good experience. I think it might be get both Pokemon to level 10 before Youngster Joey. Maybe that's kind of overkill, but I'm just so scared of the early part of this game. And the levels are still coming quickly right now. I'm sure they'll slow down in time. Good crit. Okay. Yeah, maybe level 10 is pushing it. We'll see. I also really don't get very much before Bugsy, though. So I do get some other Pokemon, but they're not good. Unless I'm missing something right now. So being ahead of the curve is not the worst thing. Actually, the battle I'm most scared of, Faulkner I think is second, but then there's the rival in Azalea Town, because I'm not going to have a whole lot for that either. And he'll have a Quilava by then. That could be a run killer pretty easily. Another benefit to Hydrapple is that it's a grass type with a coverage move. True. I just wonder how many chances it'll get to click that move. Or any move. Okay, I'm gonna try... I'm gonna see what happens against this level 4 Pidgey. I think I'd be willing to bail quickly. Oh, it only did 3 damage with that tackle. If I poison it early, then I'm probably good. We seem to be speed tying, sure. Okay. I mean, I could use a potion. I don't especially want to. Okay, but I poisoned it, and I don't really want to bail on this either. So I'll use a potion. It's maybe not the best resource management, but I'm just dreaming of the experience that a level 4 Pidgey will give. I do actually have to go to the Pokemon Center, though, because I'll be down to 3 poison stings after... Oh, well, no. Pidgey drops to the poison damage after winning the speed tie, but I'm still down to 4 poison stings, and that's not very many. There we go, level 7 Spinnerack already. There's a Pokemon I never used very much as a Silver version kid. In fact, I don't think I had one at all. So we'll see what Spinnerack can do. Stab Poison Sting is definitely nice to have early in the game. Look at that, 2 whole Pokeballs on the machine. By the way, is the game audio on, and also was the game audio on last time? I think it might not have been last time, but I think it is this time. But I can't hear it. But there's no, that's fine. That much is expected. I do think Hydrapple could be interesting. I think Super Sweet Syrup is probably very good. I'm just not sure about the rest of the Pokemon. But, I mean, if you can put pressure on the opponent, the audio is good enough. Okay. If you can put pressure on the opponent with your other Pokemon, then there may be something there. With that pressure enabled partly by the Super Sweet Syrup. These Metapod take so long to get poisoned. I'm still using up a bunch of poison stings on them. But anyway. It's still progress. This thing got to +6 defense, but it didn't matter. And back to fighting Pidgey. Level 2? Okay, well that should be easy at least. Yeah, that Poison Sting does good damage now. Is there any usable grass move besides Leaf Storm? Wood Hammer, Petal Dance, I think? Maybe not. I was looking up Frenzy Plant. I was looking up grass moves at one point, which is why I have some off the top of my head. Wood Hammer, Frenzy Plant, Solar Beam. Maybe Petal Dance, but I don't remember for sure. It might be just under the power cutoff. Solar Blade. If you're asking about moves that Hydrapple gets, though, it probably doesn't get most of those. But I don't really know what it does get. Yeah, there are actually quite a few grass moves. They're strong enough for that tournament. I feel like I still haven't gotten all of them. Maybe I have. Wonder if this Metapod will get Montreal to level 5. It'll be at least close. Okay, well, there goes this one to poison damage. Oh, not even as close as I was expecting. But one more Metapod should do it. And in the meantime, we keep fighting the other things with London. I did say earlier that the early part of the game has never been this tense for me before. The tension's disappearing a little bit now that my Pokemon are getting somewhat stronger, but still feeling good here. Working slowly toward hopefully being able to beat Falkner and Bugsy and Rival 2. But all of those will be tough. I haven't even taken on Youngster Joey yet, but that's coming soon-ish at least. A level 4 Caterpie. I don't know if we've seen one of those before. Should be pretty easy to beat and maybe give a little bit more experience. Not sure what I'll do when I get to Violet City. I might actually... If I get to Violet City with a Butterfree, I might actually switch to grinding at night so that I can take out the Ghastly and Sprout Tower with Confusion. That's something I've thought about. But it's not a concrete plan yet. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Violet City is a little ways off. As I keep running into more Caterpie now, they're actually pretty bad for training. They don't give a lot of experience, I'm learning. I will probably go and heal London after this Caterpie, though. It seems like a good time for it. Yeah, if I make it to Ruby version, then I get to use my starter again. And it's a whole different early game. Alright, see you in a bit, Raymer. I think healing after this Caterpie is pretty reasonable. I have one potion left, but I don't really want to use it here. I didn't really want to use the first one here, but I got greedy against a level 4 Pidgey with all the experience that could yield. Maybe I should... I think I could beat Youngster Joey now, but I think I'll stick to the plan. At least get London to level 10 and then see how I feel. Part of me wants to get an Ariados before Falkner, but Ariados arrives at like level 22, so that might be a little nuts, that idea. But a level 10 Spinarak is not going to be enough for Falkner. But maybe beating Falkner is a Butterfree thing. Because I can... If I get enough training on Montreal, I can status his Pokemon. Maybe Butterfree has to be the Gym 1 hero again, I'm not sure. Okay, Poison Sting is almost looking like a 2-shot now on the level 2 Pidgey. With the poison damage, it will be. So that was a good time to poison that. Level 2 Pidgey not giving a whole lot of experience anymore. But just 2 more levels on London here. Pretty workable. There's another one. Oh, that one took a Poison Sting better than the first one. Guess it's just a weird roll. I don't think there are IVs in Gen 2. There definitely are not Natures. Yeah, that is slow, but also level 2 Pidgey is the weakest thing here. So we should still get more experience than that from a Metapod or something. Of course, with a Metapod, I'm probably splitting the experience. And here's one now. Level 5, not bad. Poisoned already? Good. Switch to Montreal, who should get to level 5 from this. Maybe I actually move Montreal to the front of the party. It's not really good against a Pidgey, but I mean, Montreal needs to get some experience sooner or later. I don't know. I can keep being patient. This is honestly not moving too slowly so far, the way I'm doing it right now. Maybe I just get London to level 10 and then I start battling trainers. That could be reasonable. Montreal gets to level 5 here. So 2 levels away from turning into a Metapod. Well, regardless, we keep going for now. Gen 2, I think every status move used by an opponent has a chance to fail, like that string shot just did, so that'll probably come in handy at least a few times in this run. Although again, I don't know how far this run is going to get. Rival 2 might be a run killer if Faulkner isn't, but we'll see. I do have some other Pokemon available by Rival 2. They're just not good, but they're better than nothing. But this is all I'm getting before Faulkner. So he's the immediate problem. And I guess like the Sprout Tower Elder with his Hoot Hoot is also a problem. But if I can't beat him, then forget about Faulkner. Sprout Tower is optional in Gen 2, but I don't see any reason not to do it. And who knows, maybe I'll want to go into a dark cave at some point and be glad that I have the Flash HM. Yeah, London has started leveling up pretty slowly since reaching level 8, but level 10 is the goal. It's not that far off. It'll be fine. It's still not crazy slow. Okay, what's going on with my controls here? Okay, there we go. I guess it's MapleLocke tradition that the early part of the game takes a while. I think if I get to Ruby, that early game will be faster. But if I get to Pearl, then it's probably a bunch of early grinding again, because I don't get to use the starter in that one either. After that, who knows? But I'm mostly not thinking that far ahead. I am a little bit, obviously, but we may never see those games in this challenge if this part doesn't go well. So we'll see. Okay. Good experience on Montreal. Wonder if Montreal's leveling up will also slow down at level 8. Or maybe it'll be level 7 after evolving. Level 2 Pidgey. We know this doesn't give very much, but it might be enough actually to get London to level 9. It looks like a high roll does almost half to a level 2 Pidgey, so I'm not that close to just sweeping through them in 2 hits. Unless I poison them. Also, I think, now that I'm low on healing items, I think hitting orange HP is enough to go heal London. I think that's probably for the best. Well, we'll see what happens when London levels up here. Maybe it'll go back to green. No. Okay. Back to the Pokemon Center. That's fine. This is, again, not as slow as I feared it might be. Those really early grinding battles were incredibly scary, but it's gotten better quickly. One more level for London, then I see what I'm doing with Montreal before I press on. Another Metapod, nice. I do like running into Metapod because they're so safe to train against. I think level 10 on both Pokemon, and then, like, train London against the trainers on the way to Violet City and probably focus on Montreal and Sprout Tower. I think that's a decent starting point. It would be nice to beat Faulkner with Butterfree instead of actually trying to get an Ariados or something, but we'll see. Points of experience still goes a long way for my Caterpie here. Which is good. Alright, what level's this Pidgey at? 4. Nice. Speeds things up a little bit. And yeah, these are really not that threatening anymore, which is good for knocking a bunch of them out in a short time. Oh, I think it's my first time getting crit in this game, in this playthrough. Well, back to the Pokemon Center with me. I think I just saw youngster Joey in the grass there, lurking. And his time is coming soon, but not just yet. I think get Montreal to level 10, then I swap, or get London to level 10, then I swap Montreal to the front of the party, and we see how things go from there. Another level 4 Pidgey. Well, let's go. Oh, good crit. Imagine if I poisoned it there too. There we go. This poison damage should take it out. And it missed its tackle. Perfect. Okay. A little bit of progress at a time. Level 4 Pidgey would be nice. No, this one's level 2. Oh well. That did about half. And poisoned. Very, very good. The next one will probably KO. These rolls are so all over the place that I'm starting to think maybe IVs do exist in this game, but I don't think they do. Metapod. Always happy to see one of those right now. And poison it immediately. Oops. Scrolled too far there. Tackle! Caterpie, use! When one of my brothers was a young kid, he would call it Tack Attack. Caterpie, use Tack Attack. This early game is really taking me back to those days. One more Metapod might be good for level 6. Will that happen before London levels up? That is good damage. I didn't even need to poison this one. Almost there. And here's another Metapod. Might get 2 level ups against this. We'll see. Poisons it immediately. Excellent. Did that again. Now switch to Montreal. It's like when I was messing up my HM inputs in Gen 1. Okay, he'll drop the poison damage. I would love to see 2 level ups right now. Let's see if it happens. London grew to level 10. Montreal grew to level 6. Let's go. And now I swap Montreal to the front of the party. And it can probably win some battles itself, but I also have London available to switch in. Like I think I will immediately against this Pidgey. And then probably I'll go to the Pokemon Center. after battling this Pidgey. Okay, poisoned it. I don't think that matters. I think the next Poison Sting KOs anyway. But it's nice to see. And yeah, definitely time to go heal after that. But hey, we're focused on training Montreal now. That's progress. See, I think Montreal can beat this Caterpie that's at half of its level. Right? But it's doing 2 damage with Tackle, and we're doing, I don't know, but more than 2. That's not much experience, though, man. Uh-oh. I think I'll just stay in against this Metapod. Yeah, it's going to take a while with it boosting its defense, but like maybe I crit it. I already did once, just now. And I don't especially want to split the experience right now. It slows things down, but whatever. This might be a little bit more of a test of patience. Might reconsider after level 7 and getting a Metapod. Okay, level 4 Pidgey. I do unfortunately think I switch out against that. Yeah, maybe I'll just get Metapod and then I'll press on to Violet City. And then figure things out from there. Could do some grinding at Sprout Tower or something. Also, the Sages in Sprout Tower mostly just use Bellsprout, and they mostly just use Vine Whip for an attack. So like my Metapod could probably beat that even without turning into a Butterfree first. At least for a while. Like the early ones with weak Pokemon. I don't know, let's get a Metapod and then decide. If my controls will work. Okay. Caterpie, we know we can handle those easily. Yeah, I think it's time, once I have a Metapod, to go to Violet City. Hey, Rimmer. Good to have you temporarily back. Anything new? I think I'm gonna battle. I think I'm gonna battle Youngster Joey pretty soon. I don't think I'm gonna go for a Butterfree before that. I don't know. I'm still waffling on that decision. Let's beat this Caterpie, and then yeah, probably I'll start battling trainers. Okay, that's Metapod time. Perfect. W evolution, that's right. And now, hey, it actually learns Harden in this game, unlike Red version. And now, if my controls will cooperate, swap London back to the front. And let's finally take on the boss who's been lurking in the grass right there all this time, Youngster Joey. Here we go. First trainer battle that actually counts toward the challenge in this game. Level 4 Rattata should be pretty easy to deal with at this point. Poisoned it immediately. Oh, it has Tail Whip. It's a little scary. But not if it doesn't get chances to attack. Throw off one tackle. Doesn't do too much damage. Okay, and there's Youngster Joey finally beaten. Next, Youngster Mikey. And then I don't know their names anymore after this guy. L Youngster Joey? Why L Youngster Joey? His Rattata's in the top percentage of Rattata. I don't think he deserves that. Oh, I forgot. I never put on set mode yet. It hasn't come up until now. Tail Whip, but it failed. Nice. And I think there are just 2 bug catchers to battle after these guys before Violet City. That sounds right to me. One of them has a Weedle though, which could be a pain. If we're just spamming Poison Sting at each other with our poison types. What was I doing? Set mode. There we go. She's not a trainer. This guy's a bug catcher, though. I think this guy only has Caterpie. But the one other bug catcher on this route has 1 Weedle. Could also train against Zubat in Dark Cave, but I don't know if that's really worth it. But it gives me another option. That's the thing. Going to Violet City now opens up some more options. Okay, good crit. And then, yeah, another Caterpie. And then the last guy has 3 Caterpie and a Weedle. But they're all at very low levels. Like 2 or 3, I think. Not really anything to be afraid of there. Poison? Ah, would have saved a PowerPoint. Oh well. Okay, almost there. I think Mom will call me here and ask about saving my money. Sometimes I do take her up on that, but I think in this playthrough I won't. Doesn't seem like a great investment for me. Saving my money, that's what she calls it. Spending my money sometimes. Okay, what do we got here? An antidote. That could be useful. Makes me a little bit more willing to try Montreal against that Weedle that's coming up, but nah, I don't think so. What does a Bitterberry do? Is that the sleep one? They all have different names in Gen 2 compared to all the later gens. Confusion. Okay, sure. This is a Pokeball. Yep. And that could come in handy later, but not before Faulkner. This is the last trainer before Violet. Bugcatcher Wade, I think? Hey, look at that. I just couldn't remember Dawn's name. That last guy was Dawn. But all these trainers are so familiar to me at this point. Okay, yeah, they're doing 1 damage. PP could be an issue, but hopefully not. I don't think that crit mattered. Just sweep this guy's Caterpie. Then I have to beat... Okay, no, PP's fine. I still have 18 Poison Stings, including the one I just used. Each Caterpie only needs 2 to get rid of. Then there's just this Weedle that will take the hit somewhat better and can't be poisoned, but only so much better. Here's the Weedle now, actually. Yeah, that doesn't do very much damage, but it's not going to do much back either. That did 1. Looks like 5 hits from Poison Sting will probably knock out this Weedle. While it needs 12 back the other way. Maybe 6. Of course, I could always crit at it. Yeah, probably 6. Oh, I was wrong. It was 5. Let's go. London learned Constrict. That's a terrible attack, but it would have been better than Poison Sting against that Weedle. Well, maybe. Poison Sting is Stab, so maybe not. Constrict is pretty awful. Okay. Now I can go to Violet City. After all this time talking about it, it's finally real. Still want to work on getting a Butterfree, so let's make this swap. There are wild Bellsprout here too, I think. They might be nice to train against. Let's go to the Pokemon Center first. Because that is technically a different route from further down, and I think that's where you catch Bellsprout. And it makes sense considering Sprout Tower is right here in this city. And then, I'm just going to see. I know you can't go south of Violet to the tall grass in Gen 2. You can in Gen 4. They moved some grass up. But I don't actually know what happens if I try to go this way. Can I get to the Ruins of Alph this way? Oh, are the Ruins of Alph before the tall grass on the next route? Did I just do something silly and pointless? I could catch Unknown, but I can't use it. There we go, you can access the Ruins of Alph right there. Yeah, okay. You can just go that way, but I can't go catch a Mareep or something before I beat Faulkner, unfortunately. So I'm going to go back to that last route I was on. I think that might be a reasonable place to grind for a Butterfree. I got a Paralyzed Cure Berry. Oh, I think the Mint Berry is the one that wakes things up. You're going to Skedaddle once more? Okay. I think the mint berry is the one that cures sleep. Bitter berry is confusion, we've learned. And then there's paralyzed cure berry, and there's poison cure berry. I think the burn one is called an ice berry. Maybe I'm mistaken about that. But yeah, they're all very different from the berries I'm used to. And there's a Bellsprout right there. That should be pretty easy to beat, because I should only have Vine Whip for an attack. It's only at level 3 though, so I don't know how much experience I get. Look at that Metapod back sprite. Kind of looks... I don't know what to make of the eyes. It looks either sleepy or just kind of over it. Which I guess is kind of what they're going for. Edmonton. Edmonton was a Vileplume, right? And probably is coming back at some point this playthrough. But I can't use Victory Bell. That's not legal. I think I can get Oddish at Ilex Forest, so that's right after the second rival battle that I'm so afraid of. If the rival doesn't kill the run, then I think Edmonton can return. Tomato, tomato. They're different Pokemon. And importantly here, they're different colors. Ah, that was a roll to KO, but I didn't get it. I think Butterfree on this route is probably a reasonable goal. I could just go ahead to Sprout Tower, but I think Butterfree on this route is probably a reasonable goal. It's only 3 levels, and like 2.5 now with the experience that Montreal already has. Vileplume survived the Gen 1 part of the challenge, right? I think it did. I know half my team got wiped out in the league, but I think Vileplume was in the other half. Oh, Metapod versus Metapod. It's like Ash Ketchum in that one episode. Except mine can actually attack. This could take a while. But not if I crit it. Well, it'll still take a while, but not if I crit it repeatedly. Which doesn't seem to be happening. Oh well. At least I'm guaranteed to win this Metapod fight. And there won't be a lot of those. I shouldn't have a Metapod too much longer. I guess I'm not guaranteed to win. I could miss enough tackles that I run out of PP. But I guess in that case I switch to London. It's pretty silly that Ash's Metapod never used Tackle, but the anime just played it as if it forgot its Caterpie moves, I guess. And then it's not like his evolved Butterfree ever used Harden either. So close, but so little damage per hit now. Unless I crit. Okay, well, I did crit. Let's go. Okay, there might be some more of those to do, unfortunately. Rather deal with the Bellsprout. It can actually do damage back, but it's a lot quicker to beat. I guess I'd rather deal with whatever gives the most experience the most efficiently, and I'm not going to try to calculate that, but you know what I mean. Almost level 8. Stop just short there. The goal, of course, is level 10. And then I do Sprout Tower, I think. Level 4 Caterpie. That's a bit stronger than the ones further down. Still very easy to beat. Still probably won't give very much experience. Okay. I don't know how much grinding I'm going to be able to stand before Faulkner. Maybe the dream is that I get a Butterfree, it learns Confusion quickly, and I grind against Ghastly at night in Sprout Tower, and then I get my status moves and beat Faulkner with those. Maybe that is the best way to approach it. Getting to level 22 for Ariados seems like a nightmare. Is it 22 or is it like 24? I don't remember for sure. Maybe there's a maybe it's a Butterfree angle. Anyway, back to the Pokemon Center already, but we got one level up at least. Bellsprout give reasonable experience. How do I beat Bugsy? At least my Pokemon resist Fury Cutter. But also, I have to beat Faulkner before, and I can status his Scyther if I still have a Butterfree by then, but I have to beat Faulkner before I can beat Bugsy, so never mind. Problem for later. And the biggest problem is Rival 2. And I get some other Pokemon by then, which hopefully can do something to help, although, unless I'm forgetting something, they're really weak other Pokemon. Welcome to Gen 2. Good crit. Bad miss. That's fine. It's not that bad a miss. Okay, another level 4 Caterpie. Easy to deal with. Not terrible experience. Running into those is good. I wouldn't mind running into a whole bunch of those. Bellsprout's fine too. Really anything's fine. Like Metapod takes a while to beat, but it's not a threat, so that kind of balances out. There's nothing I'm unhappy to run into here, which is nice. Tackle missing isn't ideal, but it's going to happen sometimes. If I get Confusion, that move won't miss. This isn't Gen 1 anymore. 100 accuracy moves don't miss, unless there are modifiers in place. We're done with that. Level 4 Caterpie, perfect. Love running into those right now. There's definitely going to be some question marks around the longer term team in this game. But yeah, it's all about Spinnerack and soon to be Butterfree right now. I'm not sure I'll get as well-rounded a team as I had in Red version ever, but there's some strong stuff available later on. Some of which will look familiar. And some of which will be new to the challenge. Okay, going to the Pokemon Center at Orange HP is working pretty well so far. So let's beat this Caterpie, maybe level up? Yes, level up, good. Oh, not at Orange HP anymore. Alright, one more battle probably before the Pokemon Center, unless it's against a Metapod. And only one more level to get Butterfree. Almost there. Not sure when it learns Confusion. Maybe in this generation it's right when it evolves, but I wouldn't bet money on that. But we'll see. Missed a tackle again. Those are starting to annoy me over time. We've had a few of those misses now. But I've spammed tackle so many times. It's going to happen. Go, Metapod. Use Tack Attack. Nice. Alright, yeah, we just have to watch that bar progress one more time. We actually get a bar to watch, unlike in Red version. Well, watch it progress one more time, and then Sprout Tower, and then I'm not sure what comes next. Actually, Sprout Tower might... The high levels of Sprout Tower might even be tough, because some of those Hoot Hoot could be... A couple of trainers have Hoot Hoot. It could be threatening still, after all this grinding. But we'll see. It's possible I don't even beat Sprout Tower in this first run-through. Like, I don't think I'm going to lose the run to Sprout Tower, but it's possible that I interrupt my challenge of it. Good crit. Oh, how I look forward to having other attacks to use besides Tackle and Poison Sting. I guess I already have Constrict, but like, why? Ever? Spinnerack is such a cool Pokemon, but it does not get good moves, especially in its debut generation. So that's going to be an issue down the line as well. It probably is... Well, I was going to say it's probably the strongest Pokemon I get for a while anyway. It's certainly top 2. As long as I only have 2. But probably even a bit longer. Anyway. We know the drill against Wild Metapod. It's not a threat, but it'll take a while to beat. Unless I get very lucky with crits. Good crit. Very good crit. The misses are annoying, the crits are amazing. I love to see them right now. Okay, we've passed the slash in the HP bar. Well, this feels like a solid middle point. Almost there. Level 4 Caterpie, my favorite right now. I think it strikes the best balance of easy to beat, fast to beat, and gives decent experience for this route. And now we get the slow thing again. Do I have enough PP for this? Yeah, probably. Especially if I crit it again. That was a great crit last time. I guess Metapod is thinking about that back sprite's eyes again. I guess it is kind of supposed to be a dormant creature, resting up and evolving. Kind of weird that mine is zooming all over the place, tackling opponents. In fact, I think the early dex entries or handbook entries or something said that Metapod and Kakuna couldn't move. But the game mechanics don't quite line up with that. This Metapod is pretty active. It's about to get way more active once it hits level 10. Yeah, probably. I was thinking I'd be leaning on Spinarak / Ariados in the early game, but the more I think about it, the more I think I'm probably leaning on Butterfree in the early game. What else is new, huh? Well, I had Charmeleon and Oddish doing a lot of work in Red version as well. But yeah, good thing Montreal got to rest in the PC and make it out of Red, or else there could be some trouble here in Gold version. Okay, I'm almost out of tackles, but also one more battle should do this. So I probably have enough for that. Level 4 Caterpie? Level 5 Caterpie, let's go. I didn't know that was an option. Maybe I faced one already and I wasn't paying attention, but hey, we take these. Might need 5 tackles to beat it, but that's fine. Nope, only 4. And it's Butterfree time. And do we get a new move immediately? That part I'm not sure about. Wouldn't bet on it, but we'll see. Good sprite. Especially considering the Gen 2 color limits, they really nailed this one. Learn Confusion immediately. Alright, it is time to sweep some Bellsprout in Sprout Tower. Very happy to see Confusion right away at level 10. That's rude. What was that guy doing? Alright, Sprout Tower time. Let's go. Just absolutely blast some sages out of here with Telekinesis. Not the move Telekinesis, that doesn't exist yet, but Confusion is a telekinetic attack. I'm still kind of afraid of the Hoot Hoot guys on the top floor, though. We'll see how I'm feeling after I clear the rest. I love the animations on Psychic type attacks in Gen 2. I think Psychic, the move Psychic, might be my favorite animation in Gen 2. Confusion's pretty solid, though, especially for a lower power move. Looks pretty serious, doesn't it? Anyway, these guys are easy to deal with now. The problem is Faulkner. Because both of those things follow from the same cause. I have monobug right now. Parlor's heal, sure. Will Butterfree be the early game hero once again? Early returns are promising, but they're in soft matchups. Would like to start seeing some higher level Bellsprout, which will show up probably on the next section. So level 3 is just not doing it anymore. Hey, even if I want to do more grinding outside of town, it'll be a lot faster with Confusion, because Metapod can't boost for that, and Bellsprout's weak to it. But hopefully I'm past that now. I wonder what levels Butterfree starts getting powder moves. That's what I think I really want. I might have to check how that compares to leveling Spinarak up to finally choose between those two plans. I think the powders start coming in earlier, though. Still level 3? Thought we'd start seeing level 6 or 7 by now. That's not even a 6-7 joke. That's actually, I think, the levels that some of the higher level Bellsprout in here are at. Butterfree getting Confusion early is so good. Even better in Gen 1, but still so good here. Game Freak cooked with that. Hey, Raymer. Things have changed a little bit while you were gone. Butterfree gets Confusion as soon as it evolves this time. Okay, is this the top floor already? I think I know which guy has a Hoot Hoot. So I can battle a couple more guys before I make a decision on that. These Bellsprout are a bit stronger, yeah, level 6 or 7, like I said. Still just, well, that was a crit. I don't know if it mattered. Still just sweeping them aside for now. That's more like it experience-wise. Yeah, I think it's the guy next to the pillar, and then also the Elder, that I'm still a little hesitant to fight right now. Let's beat this Bellsprout, and then see how I'm feeling. I think I'm gonna... You won't be able to see this, but I think I'm gonna go to Bulbapedia quickly and check something. Actually, hang on. Can I just find a wild Rattata and get one more level before I decide what to do? There are Rattata in the tower. I think they're on every floor except the first one. Maybe not. Maybe they... But, like, down here there should be. There's one. They're ghastly at night, but just Rattata during the day. That one shot, so that's very good to know. Okay, I'm gonna quickly pull up Bulbapedia and check some of Butterfree's move list. Butterfree being the early game carry is the way I'm leaning right now. But it's easier if I get status inflicting moves soon. So I need the Gen 2 move list. Poison Powder at 13, Stun Sport 14, Sleep Powder at 15. Okay. So why don't I just grind up to level 15? Why not, what not Ariados? Ariados isn't... Spinarak doesn't evolve until a level in the 20s. I know you're joking, but yeah, that's the explanation for that. Okay, I'll grind up like 3 more levels. And then I'll see how things go against these last 2 sages. There's some birds to be afraid of very, very soon. Okay, 3 levels might take a bit of time, but I'm one-shotting these, so it shouldn't take too much time. I know, I always expect Spinarak to evolve earlier than that. But I've learned my lesson by now, I guess. Okay, if I go this way... This is a pretty hard loop to mess up. Problem is the encounter rate here is not very good. You know what? I think I'll actually just go back to the route outside of town. I think I can find wild Pokemon more quickly there. And just sweep them aside with confusion. I think that'll work. What was it? Poison Powder first, and then I don't remember the order of the other 2? I'm not sure what I want to be using. Probably Sleep Powder, but maybe there's a case for Stun Spore. I don't think it's Poison Powder. I think the damage is too slow compared to the opportunity to not let them use Gust or Peck against me. Yeah, maybe it's Sleep Powder. MC hype, right? Like a month away. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really feeling any hype for it, but yeah, it'll be different. It'll shake things up. I'm pretty checked out of MB right now, so maybe MC will get my attention a little more. Shaboogles told me they announced the Toronto Regional in April. That's a long way out. A little hard to be excited about that too, but at least it's something. Also, I don't have really a better source. Shaboogles told me. I don't know, feel free to look this up because I haven't actually fact-checked it. I trust Shaboogles' journalistic integrity, but yeah, I didn't confirm. W Shaboogles, that's right. Yeah, Confusion is making this grinding a lot faster as far as actually getting the KOs goes. 3 more levels here, a little bit annoying, but again, I went into this expecting worse. I haven't even been live for 2 hours yet. W Shaboogles, Pure Aura, April 2nd to 4th. Yeah. I mean, I was mad that there wasn't anything announced. That is something. I would like to see more than one thing, and, you know, almost a whole calendar year between major tournaments in Canada isn't great. Or, sorry, more than a whole calendar year. Almost a whole calendar year since the release of Champions isn't great, but it's something. It's a lot better than nothing. So W that. I hope it's still at the Metro Toronto Convention Center and not whatever the previous venue was called that was more of a nuisance for me to get to. The Enter Care Center, I think might have been the other one. Do I think they'll ever do a Calgary regional? There's no reason they couldn't. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know what convention centers you guys have, but it's a big city. No, without knowing the logistics, I don't see any reason they couldn't. But, I don't know. TPCI is not based in Canada, and to a lot of the rest of the world, even the US, Vancouver and Toronto are kind of the entire country. I've met a lot of people for whom Vancouver is pretty much the entire country. Never mind even Toronto. It really punches above its weight in terms of international reputation, I think. It's at the Metro? Excellent. That's a way better venue for me than the one they used before. So I'll probably go to that, yeah. But in the meantime... Also, I want to go to EUIC this year. I'm not sure it'll happen, but I'll try to make it happen. But that's not until February. In the meantime, I don't know. I'm pretty checked out from the current format. Maybe the next format will get grab my attention, but it's not going to do that before it's announced what it is. I feel like Alberta is between being well-known and unheard of, so I'm happy whenever someone random is from here or mentions it. Yeah, that's true. Alberta is kind of like a mid-tier province reputationally. It's probably, I'd say Alberta is probably the 4th most likely province for someone to have heard of, right? After Ontario, BC, and Quebec in some order. That's not bad. That's top half. Got some pretty serious population centers and economic activity over there. I'm sleeping on PEI. PEI, I guess, is pretty famous as a tourist destination. But it's also the smallest province. I was just there a week ago. I don't know that I'm sleeping on it, but maybe reputationally I am. WPEI, yeah. If you're ever in Summerside, go to Holman's Ice Cream. It might genuinely be the best ice cream I've had in this country. I think it's a contender, for sure. That's my PEI plug. Holman's Ice Cream. Also went to New Glasgow Lobster Suppers this year in New Glasgow. It's like $75 for a lobster supper. It's not something you can do every day, but it was good. Okay, poison powder. Over what? Harden. W ice cream. Gotta keep that in the video. Do you have Cow's ice cream out west? I know they're in some places out west. Do you have it around you? The brand is Cow's, like the animal. I think they have some Alberta locations, but I'm not sure where in the province. So, before I elaborate, that's the question. Do you have Cow's ice cream out there? Don't think so? Don't go out shopping for ice cream often? Well, Cow's is a place you would go like to get an ice cream cone while you're out and about. They're from PEI. They've really spread though. There are a bunch of Cow's shops near me, and I'm not on PEI. And they have signs that they put up that say Canada's best ice cream, and Cow's isn't bad. I would definitely say to give it a try if you come across it. It's decent ice cream. I don't even think it's PEI's best ice cream. I think I'm loyal to Holman's, but I think Holman's only has the one shop in Summerside. Canada's best ice cream branding for cows is a little much, but it's not bad. Going out specifically for ice cream usually results in Dairy Queen. Okay. That's alright. I feel like Sari has said something about an ice cream place he loved in Alberta, but I can't remember what it was. But I'm happy to plug... I mean, yeah, Cows is alright, and it's easier to come across than Holman's. I'm happy to plug Holman's in one specific town. Kawartha Dairy in Ontario. I don't know how much they've spread around the country, but they're in a bunch of parts of Ontario. I don't know. Those are some of my ice cream takes. You know what? While I'm calling out individual shops, Ed's Real Scoop in Toronto. It's pretty solid too. Not sponsored by any of these places, obviously. Before I moved a bit ago, there was an ice cream shop, but after like 2 years they dipped. Yeah. It's probably a tough business. I mean, there are a lot of ice cream shops that last a long time, but it's gotta be a tough business in some ways. I remember when there were froyo places all over. Certainly in Toronto, which is probably where I was living at the time. But no, they were opening up, I think, like all over the country. It was not just one frozen yogurt shop in an area. There were a ton of frozen yogurt shops all over the place. And that was like a crazy bubble, right? Because nobody needs that many frozen yogurt shops. And before too long, a lot of them closed. But it's kind of sad because I would still go to one. But they all closed pretty much. Not literally all of them. There's still some. You can still find a Menchie's or something in some places, but it felt like too many opened, and there just was not a need in the market for all of those frozen yogurt shops. But then it felt like too many closed. Like I would still go to one if there were one near me. But now instead of like 5 near me, there is 0. There was a different ice cream 10 minutes away, but it was a gas station. Wasn't as good. Fair. Actually, I'm mostly staying away from sugary things right now, so I don't know if I would still go to a frozen yogurt shop now. But there was a time when I'd probably be a decent customer. Never been a big yogurt/froyo guy. Yeah, I never got super into it, but if I'd had the opportunity for a while longer, maybe. I swear I'm mostly staying away from sugary things these days, even if I've just talked about ice cream for several minutes. And called out multiple brands and individual shops that I like. Largely staying off of sugary things is pretty new for me, but I am doing it. Right now, at least. Anyway, this 3-level grind is taking a while. But we're getting there. Got poison powder already. I'm about to run out of confusions, so I'll go get more of those. Actually, yeah, this is the last one. The one thing about these Butterfree sprites in gold version is it doesn't look like it's a white Pokemon. It is officially white, but it looks awfully blue here. I think they did a good job within their color limitations on Butterfree sprites. A lot of Gen 2 sprites look kind of quirky in ways that I didn't always notice when this was the first generation of Pokemon I ever played. The color limitations often have something to do with that, but then there are also the weird design quirks that we've talked about before, like Spinarak and Sneasel just not being the right colors at all. And Raikou having a bunch of wrong coloring and a weirdly shaped head, and Skarmory having 2 tails. If Butterfree looks blue, we'll just ignore Spinarak. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of clever what they did with Butterfree, right? Because they get 2 colors, and then black and white. I think that's how Gen 2 sprites work. And Butterfree is supposed to be like a dark blue color on its main body, but they just went with black and then they accented it with a light blue. It's kind of neat. Making use of the black that was always available. And still getting its eyes roughly the right color. Are its eyes more red in other games? They're pretty pink here. I don't actually remember. But it's good enough. And it looks good. I guess it's mostly Gen 2 Pokemon that have the really weird sprites, so... Like I said last time, I wonder whether some of them were designed as sprites first, like the Gen 1 Pokemon were. And whether that explains some of the coloring issues especially, where it's not an issue of limited colors, but the ones where Pokemon are just straight up the wrong color. Like Spinarak. But also Sneasel and Raikou to an extent. Okay, one more for level 14. Not sure which powder I get from that. Probably Stun Spore. Going back to Timmy Cup, if you're using rain, I'm guessing you're using Pelipper or Chaldon Swampert. Yeah. I have a draft of a team right now. I don't know if I'll ever work on it again before the tournament starts, so it might be the final version. And it does have those three. Okay, level 14. What do I get for that? Stun Spore. I have a decision I have to make, because I'm probably only keeping 2 powders like last time. Am I better off paralyzing opponents or putting them to sleep? I think I want sleep. I think I should go for sleep powder. I think it's a little bit safer than Stun Spore, but maybe not. Want to spill the tea on the other members? I mean, I might as well. It's Timmy Cup. I'm not taking it super seriously. Right now they are Talonflame, Sneasler, and Serperior. That's me putting a lot of emphasis on moving before the opponent, because I think that's probably going to be important. As well as covering some weaknesses for the Rain Core. So you can see why Sand didn't work out, because I wanted Sash Sneasler and I wanted Gale Wings Talonflame, and Sand damage kind of ruined both of those. You should have guessed Serperior. I mean, it is one of my favorite Pokemon, but also it can just spam Leaf Storm and boost itself up. Right, and it gives me something to hit. Some threats. Other water types, mainly. Apart from Electro Shot. Doesn't really do anything else, though. That's true. That's true. The theory, I guess, is that just doing that is enough, but maybe I'll change my mind. Right now, I only have 2 moves on it, Leaf Storm and Hyper Beam. And I might just decide that it doesn't need more moves, or maybe I'll decide that something else is a better fit. Who knows? Both in good ways and bad ways, exactly. But I haven't thought very much about this format, so I could be on the wrong track. Gunk Shot Sneasler? Yeah, of course. Speaking of chances to miss, huh? I think I also have Focus Blast on it right now, because, you know, you run out of physical attacks in this format. If I go into the gym around the 2-hour mark, which looks like it might happen, genuinely that is better than I expected. Maybe it'll be a little over 2 hours, but still, we take that. On Ceruledge, your fourth move is either Solar Blade or Burn Up. Yeah, exactly. Lots of just Hyper Beam and Giga Impact in this format as well. I think I have Hurricane on Talonflame and Focus Blast on Sneasler right now. Maybe I'll decide those aren't the best Pokemon to use, but they have ways of making sure they move before opponents, and that feels important to me. Is the idea. And then they also beat grass types that could cause problems for Swampert. Although I guess Pelipper and Archaludon can already do that to an extent. Maybe I'll find something better. But I don't know how much work I'll actually put into this. Okay, we're gonna get Sleep Powder on this Butterfree, and then see about beating Sprout Tower. And then see from there how I feel about the gym. That is the current agenda, if anyone forgot. Grinding this area is really slow right now. It's a good thing Confusion is one-shotting everything, or imagine how much slower it would be. Most mons realistically are just running Stab and whatever BS they get. Yeah, and often that's Hyper Beam or Giga Impact. I might even have to go heal again to get my Confusions back before I finish this grind, or maybe I'll just close it out with Tackle. Or maybe I won't have to run out of Confusions. We'll see. I guess that covers all the possibilities. If Butterfree is the early game carry, then maybe I let Spinarak kind of fall behind, but I mean, I had to train Spinarak before I could reasonably train Butterfree, so they've definitely both contributed quite a bit already. Butterfree, Caterpie was just too weak for those early routes. I mean, it was scary even with Spinarak, you might recall. When I mentioned Woodhammer, you want to look at Mimikyu. Woodhammer is its only physical move besides Giga Impact. Does it not get Poltergeist? Or is Poltergeist too weak? I think Poltergeist is strong enough, right? Does Mimikyu not get it? There's definitely no physical fairy attack that works, though. I looked at fairy moves for a while, and I think it's just Light of Ruin. So I guess I wasn't I said I looked for a while. I guess it was not very long, actually. Because it didn't take very long to see that there was basically nothing. Poltergeist is the only legal ghost move, and Mimikyu doesn't get it. Kind of surprising to me that it doesn't, but yeah, that's rough. No stab Mimikyu, huh? Not ideal. That's definitely... I can't remember the building process now, but that's definitely something I was doing at one point. I was looking up legal moves to figure out what coverage I could get, and yeah, there were a bunch of types that had, like, nothing. It's kind of surprising that Grass actually does have a bunch of attacks that are at least strong enough, even if most of them aren't very good. Part of the reason you want Ceruledge? Makes sense. How strong is Bitter Blade? Is it 100 or is it less? $90? Okay, so you can't use that. Do you get Flare Blitz or something? Or is it just Burn Up? Flare Blitz. Okay. That's something. Alright, one more. It looks like I'm not going to run out of Confusions because one more KO should do this. Then I get Sleep Powder. And hopefully Sleep Powder is enough to win some stuff because my patience is starting to get a little thin here. Even though this has actually been going better than I expected so far. I think I'll drop Stun Spore for Sleep Powder. I think I'll keep Poison Powder. So goodbye move I just taught a level ago. Running burn up, you're not truly running mixed. No, burn up is just thrown in. Yeah, I know the feeling. This format does kind of make you do that kind of thing sometimes. Alright, I better land my sleep powders. We'll see how that part goes. And also, it's not Gen 1 anymore. Waking up is not an entire action. Even if I land my sleep powder, when they wake up, they get to use a move. But, so this might be a somewhat luck-based plan, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. And hey, level 15 is not bad for this part of the game. Butterfree should be able to take hits. Up to a point. I do think... I have a couple potions in my bag. I think I might want to buy more before I battle the gym. But first, let's finish with Sprout Tower. Okay, almost made it to the top without a wild encounter. So here's the first Hoot Hoot guy, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, why did I skip him? Don't know any of your items besides Swampertite. I mean, I think, like, Focus Sash is still super important. Choice Scarf is probably super important. I might run some cheese items after those, but we'll see. There are probably some resist berries that are worth looking into and that kind of stuff. Lots of options. Surprisingly many options, actually. Okay, I missed my first... Actually, this is a level 7 Hoot Hoot. I'm not even sure it knows Peck yet. I'm pretty sure the Elder's Hoot Hoot does. I missed my first Sleep Powder, but Hoot Hoot doesn't really do anything with the opportunity it gets from that. Now let's see how this takes a Confusion. I think this is relatively bulky Pokemon for the very early game, but we'll see. What do I think is better for a Chaladon, Sturdy or Stamina? I've penciled in... Oh, I got the Confusion. Too bad it's already asleep. I've penciled in Sturdy for now. I don't think I believe in Stamina because... Like, what hits are you taking in this format? But, I don't know. Stamina might be worth thinking about. It's just, there's an obvious reason to doubt it. So I'm leaning Sturdy, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, there's Tim. He beat the Elder. He's getting lectured on treating his Pokemon with respect or stalwart trust. Does Stalwart let your Electroshot ignore Lightning Rod? I'm not sure. If so, then it's not literally useless in the format, but still pretty close to useless. I don't think it's the call. Anyway. Let's see if I can beat the Elder as easily as I beat that last guy. And get my first HM of this playthrough. And then, the first big scare of the playthrough. The Violet Gem. You want to see how many explosions actually work out? Oh yeah, I have Damp on my Swampert right now. Of course, not once it's Mega Evolved, though. But yeah, there'll definitely be people going for explosion stuff. Okay. Sleep Powder this. This time we hit the first time. And let's see how this takes a Confusion. I really think Sleep Powder Butterfree... Okay, yeah, it's gonna be 3-shot. I really think Sleep Powder Butterfree is probably the key to the early game here. Hopefully that works out. Hoot Hoot stays asleep. That's one thing that's in my favor here. There are a lot of sleep turns in Gen 2. Sleep can last a long time. It doesn't have to, but it can. Torrent would probably help less, yeah. I don't think Torrent is really worth it at all anyway. I mean, you're probably just Mega Evolving Swampert anyway, so Damp there might be some niche uses for it against Explosion teams, but for the most part, you're just all in on Swift Swim, I think. Alright, well I beat the Sprout Tower Elder without taking any damage. That's pretty good. Hopefully I can keep that up in the gym. The first gym trainer has at least one Spearow. I think it's only one. That uses Peck. I'll probably want to Sleep Powder that. The other guy just has a team of Pidgey. I'll probably not bother trying to land Sleep Powders on those. And then maybe I don't have to against Faulkner's Pidgey either, but his Pidgeotto, I should definitely go for Sleep Powder. I'm just hedging for accuracy checks, right? Like, the fewer times I have to click it, the better, probably. The nice thing is, Faulkner spams Mud Slap in Gen 2. For some reason, that's his TM, even though it's a ground-type move. And Butterfree is immune to Mud Slap. So we don't have to worry about the accuracy drops from that. He'll probably spam Gust instead, which is also very scary, but at least we don't have to worry about Mud Slap. Okay. I'll go to the mart, see what potions I can buy. I'll buy some Pokeballs too, because I'm low on those, and I do get to catch something pretty soon if I beat Faulkner. I'll just buy like 5 Pokeballs, and then whatever potions I can get with the rest of my money. Can't get repels yet anyway. I guess I went down first there to see, but I guess they haven't yet invented only showing you as money as you can actually afford. Okay, gym time. This guy's also a good test, because his Spearow is relatively strong for the first gym trainer in the whole game. So let's go for Sleep Powder. We connect. Excellent. No Compound Eyes, unfortunately, in this game, because abilities don't exist until Gen 3. But so far, I'm landing my Sleep Powders when it counts. Hopefully that holds up against Faulkner. Again, I don't think I need to try it, except against his Pidgeotto. I'm not going to waste time gambling with more, I don't think. And Confusion's a 2-shot into the Spearow. I might not even have needed Sleep Powder. But better safe than sorry, I guess. Okay, and then this guy is pretty weak. He has guts, though. He just told me so. You might be typing less, but you're here? I know. Ooh, that almost KOs. Not quite. I might end up... This is going so well so far. We'll see how this holds up, but maybe I'll end up feeling silly for buying all those potions. I mean, if I get much further in the game, they won't be very useful for long, but I guess they're pretty cheap. That's an item you want in... I saw you type MC, and for a second I thought Minecraft. But no, Reg MC. What is an item you want there? Anyway, Faulkner time. This is it. Do or die. Previous message. Oh, Flame Orb. Oh, I didn't see that. I missed that message. As long as he doesn't have Flame Orb? Yeah, Flame Orb would be cool to get back. Alright, here we go. The first of the early game battles that are pretty scary, although everything's been going so smoothly up to this point. I think it will go not quite as smoothly here, but I'm not, like, terrified anymore. One-shotting his Pidgey is very good. I might not even need to Sleep Powder the Pidgeotto, but I will. It's only at level 9 in this game. I land the Sleep Powder. Very, very good. And I think Confusion might be a 2-shot. Let's see. And I think I probably mainly just focus on training Montreal for a while. Yeah. Looks like one more Confusion should do it. Okay, so all that... I'm glad I didn't have to grind as much as I was thinking I might. I mean, I had some kind of crazy ideas about how much I might have to grind, but... Yeah, Sleep Powder, Butterfree. I don't even think the Sleep Powder was necessary, but getting to this kind of level... took care of business. That's Faulkner beaten. 1 badge down. He gives me the Mud Slap TM. Don't know if I'll ever use it. But there's a separate pocket in the bag for TMs now, so they won't clog up my inventory like they do in Gen 1. That feels like a pretty big thing, so I'm not ending right now, but I'm going to save the game. I've only been playing for a little over 2 hours. And now, I'll leave the gym and Professor Elm will call me. He'll tell me where his assistant is with the egg. I don't remember whether it's the Pokemon Center or the Pokemon Mart in this generation. I did not read the text. I think it's the Pokemon Center, and then it's the Mart in Gen 4. Yeah, there he is. And I'm actually, if you can believe it, going to trek back to New Barktown next. Because I can use Togetic. So I want to hatch the egg before I go any further. And when I show it to Professor Elm, he'll give me an Everstone, which, hint, could be useful to have to prevent some evolutions later on. So my goal is, right now, is hatch this Togepi in or before New Barktown. I think this egg hatches pretty quickly, relatively speaking. But it might be a fair bit of walking back and forth. Unfortunately, I don't have cut yet, so I can't take the shortcuts around the tall grass. Well, I can when they're ledges, but I can't when they're trees. So go way back down here one more time. Obviously not the last time, if all goes well. And then we'll go back up there and press on from Violet City. Actually, I can take most of the shortcuts around the tall grass. Most of them don't rely on cut when you're going this way. Okay, New Barktown. What if I just go into the lab and try to hatch the egg in here? So I can show it to Professor Elm immediately when it hatches. There's his Totodile just sitting alone on the table in its ball. It's kind of neat that in Gen 4, he seemingly gives the third starter to someone else off-screen. And if you interact with the machine, it's like, I wonder who he gave it to. But, yeah, not in this generation. It just doesn't get an adventure. I say it's a relatively quick hatch. I'm not sure how long it takes. Could be a fair bit of walking back and forth. But I do want that Everstone. And I'm going to quickly go on Bulbapedia while I wait and see what moves Togetic can get, because I think it cannot get very much that is useful in a playthrough, unfortunately. It also evolves by friendship, so who knows how long that'll take. But yeah, I think it hatches with no attacks. I know in Gen 4 it has extra sensory, but not in Gen 2. And I don't know what attacks it ever gets. It hatches with its... well, no, okay, this is Togetic, not Togepi. The only attack that Togetic gets by level up is Double Edge at level 38. It gets Metronome way before that, so that can call damaging moves. It can learn the Headbutt TM, so that's not nothing. Headbutt, I think, is a renewable TM as well. So it gets some other TMs that are not as renewable. It's possible that this Mon can do something for me, but yeah, I think it's probably not going to be very useful, unfortunately. I'll check Togepi as well, in case there's anything different there. It gets Headbutt. It gets the Headbutt TM, but it has base 40 attack. Togetic does. So I don't think Togetic is going to be good. But I might as well at least carry it in my party before there's something else that I want in that slot instead. Togepi has 20 base attack. That's super low even for this generation. And yeah, same exact thing, actually. Same exact level up learn set as Togetic. It gets double edge at level 38, and that's it for damage. Unless you're lucky with Metronome or Sweet Kiss. A sack is important? I mean, hopefully not, but yeah, it could be. So better to have one than not. Anyway, we're just gonna go back and forth for a while. So that I can show this thing to Professor Elm as soon as it hatches. How are we doing here, actually? I don't want to fall into a loop of checking on this egg's progress, but I'll check this one time. It moves inside sometimes. It must be close to hatching. I don't think that's super close, but yeah. This is a quick one. So that much is good. I think it usually hatches by about Goldenrod City. Sometimes a fair bit earlier, like Azalea Town or so, if you just play through the game with it in your party. And it's not like there are a ton of steps to take in this region. It's not a big map. So I figured this would be not too terrible to do this way. If anyone new is watching, I'm just walking back and forth right now to hatch my Togepi egg, so that I can show it to Professor Elm and get the Everstone. Shouldn't take too terribly long, it's a pretty quick egg to hatch. I know it's not the most engaging stuff right now, but then we continue the adventure. And press on toward Azalea Town and all that. W egg, yeah. Well, hopefully W Togepi soon. Feel free to chat to help pass the time. I kind of want to check the egg status again, but I don't want to keep doing that over and over when it's faster to just keep walking. We know it was making progress. 1 eternity later? It hasn't been eternity. But it is starting to feel like it, huh? Well, Raymer, do you want me to check on the egg? Yeah? Okay. It's making sounds inside. It's going to hatch soon. That's progress. I don't think that's the very last progress message, but I don't really remember what the messages are in what order. Well, in this playthrough, we streamed the slow, grindy parts too. This section of the game has been mostly slow, grindy parts, but that should be about picking up around now, somewhat. And hey, if I can get past Bugsy and Rival 2, then I can start to catch some strong Pokemon again. Here's hoping. Strong Pokemon unheard of? We've seen some. Also, because I'm playing Gold version, strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon, that is only the selfish perception of people. But no, in a challenge like this, that's not really true. I can get some strong Pokemon if I can beat Bugsy and Rival 2, but I'm pretty afraid of especially Rival 2. That one still scares me, even after how smoothly Faulkner went. Okay, this egg hatching has been going on for a while now, hasn't it? Grinding for sleep powder? No problem. Hatching an egg? Oh man. Shout out to Articuno, by the way, best legendary so far. It's the only one I've used so far. Unfortunately, it's dead. Alright, well, eggs hatching. There's my Togepi. Now, nickname time, of course. And this very cute and innocent Pokemon, who represents happiness, shall of course be named... Hang on. I think I know, but I should actually double check the list. Yeah. Shall be named... Markham. Now, spreadsheet update. I also forgot to mark that I had gotten Butterfree. And let me make sure I know what's next. Okay, yep. That's what I thought it was. Show Markham to Professor Elm. Gives me an Everstone. Blah, 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 blah. This is Gen 2, so newly hatched Pokemon are at level 5. Not level 1. Can't remember when they changed that. Think it might have been Gen 5, but Yeah, Markham's still going to be really, really bad, so probably will not be getting much training. Now we go back to Violet City and south from there. No encounters in that grass, that's lucky. Let's see if it holds up. Oh! Will I get through the whole route without any encounters? No. Immediately no, in the last stretch of grass. Speedrun strats back, temporarily, I guess. Okay, just the one encounter on this route. Still have to get through the next one. Well, the next two, because there are two routes between here and Violet. Okay. Straight line. Ah. Wonder how I'll beat Whitney, if I get to Whitney, but that's a ways off. Probably Sleep Powder is the play for that. Also, I won't have Mono Bug by then. In fact, I don't even have Mono Bug anymore now, technically. Which is good, because Rollout is a rock-type attack, you might recall. Even though it's most famously used by her Miltank. You've heard horror stories? Have you played a Gen 2 or 4? Have you played a Johto game, Raymer? I can't remember. No? Well, yeah, Whitney's scary. But Sleep Powder ought to be able to help. Okay, made it back here. The next encounter is actually on the very next route. It's also not very strong, but it might be of some help. We'll see. I don't know if I'll really try to train it. But it's to be caught here. It's not Rattata. I could have had one of those by now. If I wanted. The only thing is, I might want to train this next thing for the Rivals Quilava, because it can be of some help with that, but I don't think it can beat the Rivals Quilava. So I don't know. Played Gen 8, 9, Hisui, ZA, fully. Let's Go halfway, and lost your BDSP cartridge. Okay, so you're very new. Gen 8, wow. There we go, Mareep. I can use Mareep, but I can't evolve it. Which is why I'm saying it's very weak. Mareep is white, Flaffy and Ampharos are not. You went back after you played Gen 9? Oh, you're super new. Alright, caught my Mareep. Its name is... Vaughn. I'll update the old spreadsheet. What am I getting next? I think next is probably Oddish if I get past the fights that I'm afraid of. Yeah, I don't see anything else coming up sooner than that. When you were younger, you were based as hell? Okay. What does Vaughn have? I'm gonna go to the Pokemon Center to wake Vaughn up, but first, what does he have? Tackle and Growl. Okay. Not even like Thunderwave. I don't know if Vaughn is getting any training. I will give Vaughn the Everstone. This is who I wanted the Everstone for. At least for now. I don't remember whether it's useful to anyone else later. Maybe not in this game. You hated Zelda? I never got super into Zelda. I do like those games, but like I've never finished one, and I haven't played very many at all. I played a decent amount of Wind Waker growing up, and I got pretty far in, but I never finished it. And I had some GBA Zelda game as well, but I can't remember which one. I think this is mostly just the Butterfree show for the next while. Because I think that's my best answer to the upcoming scary boss fights. Unfortunately, I don't think I get repels yet. There's nothing else to catch along here. You know what I just remembered? I'm not going to worry about it. Mostly because I feel weird targeting Pokemon of specific genders, although speedrunners I'm sure do that. But in Gen 2, male Pokemon just like inherently have higher attack stats than female Pokemon. So that's something I could be keeping in mind if I wanted to optimize in this playthrough. I don't think I'm going to do that optimization, but I only just thought of it now. Yeah. Maybe there are IVs in this game, or something like IVs, actually. Because it has something to do with stats, with their stat values. Like, something about their stat values also... The way gender is determined is tied to, I think, like maybe like an early version of IVs or something like that. And that's why male Pokemon generally have higher attack. I guess there is a version of IVs, I forgot. It's not the same as in all the other generations, but there's something, some kind of variance in here. I never really properly learned how this works in the first place, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. If I find female Pokemon first, I'll just catch them. Why discriminate? Well, I just said why, but I don't think I want to. Nice that I can just wipe out this Nidoran with Confusion. Early game Confusion continues to be so good. Even better in Gen 1, but still really good in Gen 2. No sexism here, exactly. I think it is just... And like their fire breathers with poison types in the cave, too, that's coming up. I think it is just like sweep everything with Butterfree for now. And hopefully that includes Bugsy and Tim. I really thought I'd be leaning on Spinarak more, but Spinarak played a super important role very early on, so it's fine. It's not like Spinarak is unappreciated. You notice these guys are now campers and picnickers instead of junior trainers? We're modernizing here. Found a great ball, nice. That could be useful later. Found a Hoppip, can't do anything with that. I'm allowed to catch it, but there's no reason to. I guess grinding my Spinarak to level 10 was a little much then. If I wasn't actually going to rely on it all that much, but I didn't know. And it didn't cost me the massive amount of time that I feared it might. W Wooper. Can't use it, of course, but Cutemon. Also takes a hit from Montreal, which is kind of impressive at this point. I'll go... Nah. I can go to that Pokemon Center. That last guy is not a trainer. You'll find out what he is if you don't already know, but I can go to that Pokemon Center whenever I want. Let's just battle the fisherman now. There is also a Pokemon Center in the middle of the route before Union Cave, which is convenient. Look at that Goldeen sprite. Well, I guess that's kind of like the Gen 1 ones, actually. The Gen 1 one. I guess I was wrong when I said that there aren't more Goldeen sprites like that. Gold and Silver, if you don't know Raymer, have different sprites. So I'm going to be probably kind of remarking on the gold ones at some points because I'm more used to the silver ones. Every Pokemon had in battle... The back sprites are the same, but for the front sprites, every Pokemon had a gold one and a silver one. And then Crystal picked and chose between those and also added animations. It was the first game to give Pokemon an animation when they're sent in. And then the next game to do that wasn't until Emerald. But yeah, all the Pokemon that I'm fighting are in different poses from the ones they would be in Silver version. And I've played Silver a lot more than I've played Gold. Wow, this one took a hit. We know Poliwag can be annoying with Hypnosis and then speed drops from Bubble, but it just used Bubble here and didn't get the speed drop, so we're fine. It's probably the fastest I've ever swept these guys aside. I think next one is a Magikarp guy, but yeah, all that early grinding pays off, I guess. Only 4 Magikarp, so that's not bad. This one's level 5. I think he has one that knows Tackle. Maybe not, but it doesn't get Tackle until level 15. I think one of them is at that level. The rest can only Splash. W. Calgary, may rest in peace. Was Calgary the Magikarp? That checks out. Yeah, unfortunately, I am about to get the Old Rod. I might as well get it. There's no reason not to, but I can't add a Magikarp to my team anymore, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, this one's a level 15, so it'll know Tackle. It is just, I think, sweeping through all the trainers until Azalea Town right now. And then probably sweeping through Team Rocket in Azalea Town, so things are, I think, going pretty smoothly until the gym. I want them to add Magikarp to Champions for the bit. Hard agree. Give it back Hydro Pump, sure. Especially since we caught that that special marked Magikarp in that raid we did together. And I caught mine in a Master Ball. I want to be able to send that to Champions. They will surely want to add Eevee to Champions at some point, if only when they bring Zed moves back. Maybe that'll open the door to other not fully evolved Pokemon. Anyway, this guy will sell me a Slowpoke tail to eat for $1 million. I'm gonna say yes. But I'm not rich enough, so I still don't get to have it. Just heal to get some PP back. Actually, there's a bird keeper outside. Maybe I could have fought him before healing, but I don't think it matters that much. I don't think I'm going to run out of confusions going through here. Also, I think there's a guy with Slowpoke in the cave, so it won't only be confusion spam. This guy gives me the Old Rod. Don't really have anything to do with it, but I might as well get it. And then, yeah, there's a bird keeper down here who's impressed that I beat Faulkner. Good for me, I guess. Should be able to just sweep him aside. I'm not even afraid of the Spearow at this point. Just confusion that. No need for Sleep Powder. Probably doesn't even take this hit. Oh, it does. But then what does it do back? 10 damage, and that's not nothing. I actually wanted to swap the tackle there, but I guess the input was too slow. That's fine. Probably not going to make or break my PP count. Montreal's trying to learn Supersonic. I don't think I'm interested in that. It is nice that it can stack with another status, but I'd rather keep the status moves that I have. And this guy just has another Pidgey left. I guess Butterfree is a classic tutorial Pokemon meant to teach kids, or meant to give kids a leg up in the early part of the game, and I sure have been relying on it in both games so far. It's not in Ruby though, so if I get there, the streak has to break. Oh, I forgot that you can get Sandshrew here. I think it's version exclusive. I think, well, in Silver you can definitely get Ekans on the last route that I was on. I think that's instead of Sandshrew in the cave. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise for me just now. Anyway, there are Hikers and Fire Breathers in here. If you don't know, Raymer, Fire Breather is a trainer class in this generation. And they do use fire types, but they also use a lot of coughing. And I think that's more what they're about in this cave. I don't think this Onix is going to take a confusion. I really, really, really hope I'm not wrong. Great sprite, by the way, on that Onix. Oh, it took one. Okay, but then I just used Tackle. I should take the Hikers a little bit more seriously if they're rock types. There's also one just outside the cave. He has a Machop, which I can knock out easily, but then I think he also has a Geodude. But the one Hiker left in the cave, he has a bunch of Geodude, but they're all super weak. So I actually don't think I have to take them more seriously, but we'll see. I don't think they're all at the same level. There might be one kind of strong one. Oh, and here he is. He's the next trainer. Yeah, hopefully nothing takes a hit and is awake in this battle. We'll see. He has 3 Geodude. I think this one's at like level 2, level 4. Close enough. So you see, this is not going to take a confusion. Next one's at level 6. That's fine. It would be really bad to lose Montreal to a rock throw. I don't think it's going to happen. This last one is at level 8. That's probably fine. Yeah. And it's not like Sleep Powder is completely safe to click because there's a 1 in 4 chance that it misses. So that worked out fine. I think one of the Fire Breathers in here might have like a Vulpix. Maybe I want to Sleep Powder that, but we'll see. This guy's annoyed at Zubat, just like a lot of the kids playing these games back in the day. There's a Fire Breather for you. Coughing is fine, even before I see what low level it's at. W breathing, true. And then he just has another coughing. But I think the other guy is a Vulpix, or something like that. Okay. Counter to Zubat. But I can just run from that, no problem. Get a Great Ball, that's not bad. Ooh, an Onix. Not useful to me, but I think that's a rare encounter in here. There's an in-game trade for an Onix before Falkner, so you don't have to wait this long to get one. But if you want to catch one, that's where it is. And that is a great sprite. I really like it. I think the silver one is not as interesting. There are a lot of solid sprite poses in Gen 2. They did a good job with those generally. This guy I think has Slowpoke. He might have 2. He has at least 1, I think. Wow, another Onix. Just one, okay. I think I'll poison this. I don't think I need to sleep it. The extra damage is nice when I'm probably relying on tackle otherwise. Yeah, tackle doesn't do crazy damage. It's not terrible. But the poison damage helps. Well, okay, I didn't know I'd get a crit. That's very good. Speeds things up nicely. We're going to see the Slowpoke well, yeah, very soon. By the way, Raymer, here I'll show you something. This guy's post-battle dialogue. Every Friday you can hear Pokemon roars from deep inside the cave. When you get Surf, you can go down here. That water there. The visual got wrecked by this Rattata on Fridays and catch Lapras there. I won't be doing it in this playthrough because my Lapras died back in Red version. But that's where it is, once a week. Just a static encounter. It has an overworld sprite that looks like the surfing sprite, except it's blue instead of red, because the surfing sprite looks like Lapras in this game. Anyway, I think the TM for Swift is down here. I don't know if or when I'll use that, but I'm pretty sure that is Swift that I just picked up. Is there an item over here as well? Yep. Togetic? I think Togetic is probably just not getting trained much at all. But it's an option. Okay, one more fire breather, and then there's a hiker outside. So many wild encounters in here. I hope I can buy repels in Azalea Town. Or else the forest will be like this too. Alright. Does this guy have a Vulpix? That's what I think I remember. Yeah, I don't know if it has a fire move, but I'm gonna hedge by clicking Sleep Powder into it. Okay, that was pretty easy. Let's see what's in this tree. A poison cure berry. Nice. Here's that last hiker. Maybe I should have tried to avoid this guy. I forgot that he spins. Because there's one more Geodude to try to ruin my day, and this one's at level 11. I think I'd better Sleep Powder it. Okay, it hits. Good. Maybe this just one-shots anyway. Let's see. It does not. Geodude stays asleep, though. Okay, we're fine. I'm kind of all in on Montreal right now, though. I have to keep that in mind. Do I think they'll add a Mungus in MC? I have no idea. I don't really see... I can't think of anything I would go off of to try to speculate on that. I guess they probably don't add Amoonguss without safety goggles, but they could add safety goggles at MC, I don't know. Here's Team Rocket. He's guarding the well. We'll fix that. In fact, I have to fix that before I can go into the gym, because Team Rocket is also blocking that. Or somebody is. I think it's Team Rocket. Yep. That's a grunt, alright. I might as well get an apricorn. I'll give that to Kurt to make a ball that I'll probably never pick up. And here's Kurt, the Pokeball craftsman. Famously, the guy Ash took the GS ball to in the anime before the GS ball was just completely written out of the show and they never revisited it again. Because they dropped the storyline that they wanted to write around it and just hoped that the kids watching would forget, which didn't work at all. Now, he has scared the guards so that he can get into the Slowpoke well, which means I can go in there. And now Kurt fell down and hurt his back. So we're going to deal with Team Rocket for him in a second. I'm just going to mute quickly and go to the washroom, and then I'll be right back. What happened to my OBS display? That's a problem for later. Okay, Raymer. Hope you've had a good chance to admire Slowpoke well as I head deeper in and fight a few grunts. Avoiding wild Zubat along the way. First Team Rocket encounter. There are not a ton of those in this game. There are like 4 parts of the story that Team Rocket show up in this game. But here's the first one. And yeah, this is the guy who was guarding the entrance, but he got chased down here by Kurt and he's mad about it. But he can stay mad. Oh, he has another Pokemon. Well. But he can stay mad. And here's a woman grunt, making their debut, I think. And the woman grunts have an interesting design in this game. I don't know what I make of it, because they look like Jessie from the anime, except with Cassidy's hairstyle. Definitely feels like there's an anime influence on that design. Probably. They really do just look like a hybrid of those two characters. for Super Potion. I haven't used any of those potions that I bought back in Violet City. That feels like it was probably not a great purchase. But now I have a Super Potion. So, all's well, I guess. Two more grunts. One of them is an executive in Gen 4, but I think he's just a grunt in this game. And I haven't said what Team Rocket are doing here. If you don't know, Raymer, they're cutting the tails off of Slowpoke to sell as food. Hence the guy who was trying to sell me a Slowpoke tail a little bit ago. Kind of dark for Pokemon. Gen 1, of course, is definitely the darkest, but Gen 2 still has a little bit of darkness lurking. Apparently they don't feel it, plus they regenerate, so it's not as dark. Yeah, I think that is true, actually. And yet, law-abiding citizens like Kurt don't like to see Team Rocket do this. It's probably still a crime. But yeah, maybe not as cruel as it sounds. A Slowpoke with its tail cut off. I'm not going to read its mail. That's its business. Anyway, last guy. And I don't have strength yet, so I can't go further into the well. There's not a ton to see there anyway. There's a King's Rock that I can't really do much with. And yeah, this guy's a grunt in this game. In Gen 4, also, the Team Rocket executives get individual identities. So, like, this is a specific guy with a specific name in that game, but here he's just a grunt. Anyway, that's Team Rocket. Beaten for now. Won't see them again for a while. He just said you can have fun watching us stir up trouble, but yeah, that's a ways off. Kurt's okay, the Slowpoke are okay. If I talk to him, I think he'll give me a Lure Ball. Of course, all the Apricorn Balls are super broken in Gen 2. I say of course, I didn't know that as a kid, but I'm not sure any of them are programmed correctly. So they don't really do what Kurt says they do. I'll just give him this white one. He'll turn it into a Fast Ball. I think in modern games, fastballs catch Pokemon with high speed stats, but in Gen 2, some species of Pokemon, not all, have a chance to run away when you encounter them in the wild. And fastballs are supposed to work better on those species that have a chance to flee. However, again, I have learned many years after I first played these games that, like, all of the Apricorn balls, maybe not literally all of them, but a ton of them are badly bugged. And so they don't actually work the way they're supposed to, and so I don't know what the fastball actually does. Off the top of my head. Nor the Lure Ball that I just got. The throwing animation is quicker? I don't know about that, Raymer. Trust aerodynamics? What about aerodynamics? It's the same shape as a regular Pokeball. First Leddyba of the playthrough, by the way, because I can't catch it in this version. I think I'll just do a loop around the gym. You can go either way. But I think I'll probably heal my team before Bugsy anyway, so... And he's right in the middle. So I think I'll just loop around, go to the Pokemon Center, and then come back. The ball's sharper. Is your source trust me, bro? Aw, there's something I can't use anymore. Paris. Otherwise I'd be able to catch that in the forest. Well, I can catch it, but I can't use it in my team. You know how it works. I think it's in the forest. Probably. Ottawa? Yeah, that's right, that was its name. I got Butterfreed, as you recall. I fought that one bug catcher with a Butterfree, and I lost both my Magikarp and my Paris to it. And then there were no more deaths for a long time. That was the only early... Those were the only early ones, and they were in the same battle against broken Gen 1... broken early game carry, Butterfree. Currently carrying this team. You'll remember the popular ones / big cities? Popular Pokemon, that is? Like Magikarp? I mean, Paris I don't think is a popular Pokemon, but it's a big city, so fair enough. I might not need to heal before Bugsy, but I think I want to. Also, I say that, as I'm saying that, Montreal takes a Fury attack that hits all 5 times. So yeah, healing before Bugsy, definitely on. If they have a hockey team, you'll remember. Well, there aren't a ton of those left. In fact, I think there's only one. Assuming you mean NHL. Oh, yeah, not a ton of those left to catch, I mean. Not a ton that I haven't used yet. No. Oh, we have had a Winnipeg, haven't we? You're right, actually. There aren't any left. What was Winnipeg? What Pokemon was that? Oh yeah, Electro. Oh man, that's sad. Electrode is the only electric type I get for some long stretches. I was sad to lose that one. Anyway, this is the last gym trainer beaten now. Hopefully things go as smoothly against Bugsy. The nice thing is I don't have to worry about getting poisoned by his Kakuna because I can just knock it out with Confusion. Early game Confusion is so good. I knew it in Gen 1, I'm learning it now in Gen 2. Can we look back on how BS Zard's death was? What, Koga blowing up his last Pokemon? Yeah. Alright, time to take on Bugsy. Of the big 3 battles that I've been afraid of in this early game, this is the one I'm least afraid of. And Faulkner went super well, so... Let's see how this goes. Metapod to start. His Metapod and Kakuna can attack, but it's not like they're very strong. But I remember it felt special that Bugsy was an NPC whose Metapod and Kakuna could actually attack. It was kind of like, whoa, he really is the bug-type expert he says he is. I say as it uses Harden here with the only move it's getting. Here's the Kakuna. Hopefully that just gets one shot. And then the big guy, Scyther. Which I can prevent from stacking up its Fury Cutters if I land my Sleep Powder. Great sprite, by the way. Level 16, that is kind of a jump up from Faulkner, especially with what a strong Pokemon this is. I mean, just a generation ago, this thing was fully evolved. It takes a Confusion pretty well, actually. Might have gone for Quick Attack there. Of course, Fury Cutter is resisted. It won't do much damage at first, but it does a lot of damage to everything if it gets a chance to get going. But we should be able to deny it that chance. And this thing has not even woken up so far, so that's good. Might only get one more shot. We confused it. Don't know if Bugsy will use some kind of potion here. Apparently not. Okay. Perfect. First 2 gyms. dealt with. Whitney's a problem too, but before Whitney, actually, the very next trainer to fight is the rival, and I've been dreading that one a bit. We should be able to handle his Quilava, but it's scary. I'll just beat a gym leader. I'll save the game like I did last time. I think it's a good thing to do when I'm playing for a long stretch here. He gives me the Fury Cutter TM. I have no use for that right now. Not super likely I ever use it. Save the game quickly. Actually making pretty good time here. Considering what a long, long grind I thought this early game might be. Okay, go to the Pokemon Center. Then I'll battle the rival. And then if he doesn't kill the entire run, I'll figure out what to do next, because I think Oddish might be specific to a particular time of day. But I'm not sure what time that is. And that is the next thing to catch in the forest, just up ahead. This is possible I end soon, but that'll depend on when Oddish is caught. But that's assuming I beat the rival. Here we go. He has some thoughts about Team Rocket returning. This game doesn't tell you at all that he's Giovanni's son. They very, very subtly hint that in Gen 3 and then confirm it in a special event exclusive scene in Gen 4. But I had no idea of that when I was a kid. I didn't know why this guy hated Team Rocket so much. Anyway, his other two Pokemon are easy for Montreal to deal with. It's just the Quilava that could be a problem. His other two are poison types. And not, and they're small, unevolved ones. Okay, bad time to miss a sleep powder. Well, let's see how much this Ember does. Okay, we can take those. We land the second sleep powder. How much attention do I pay to the CFL? Because apparently the Elks are finally good. I pay very, very little attention to the CFL. I can't think of the last time I watched the Grey Cup, and I definitely can't think of the last time I watched a game other than the Grey Cup. I've been to a game in Toronto once, a really long time ago. But I think I also went to a game in Hamilton once, a comparably long time ago. But W Elks, I guess? Okay, well, that went very smoothly. We ended on a crit. Only had to take one Ember, didn't do too much. I still have to beat a Zubat, but that's very, very easy. Okay. Well, all that grinding pays off. I guess if you put in the prep work, then the disaster doesn't happen, and the prep work ends up looking kind of silly. But the prep work is the reason the disaster didn't happen. Life lesson in there. Beat Rival 2. He hates the weak. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'll go heal. I'll see if I can buy repels. And then I'll check what hours Oddish can be caught. I can buy repels. I can buy quite a few, actually. I can afford exactly 30 repels. Not bad. Leaves me with 20 bucks to my name. What's your opinion on not being able to name rivals in modern games? I don't feel strongly about it. I don't know if I really have a take. Okay. Ilex Forest, Poke Earth. I think I'll be using... If this gets much further, I think I'll be using Poke Earth a lot on later games that I don't know as well. It's already useful here. Gen 2. Oddish is only at night. So, Raymer, We've had a good 3 hours here. That's not bad. I think it is probably time to end. I'll step out into the forest, but the next thing to do is catch an oddish fiddlesticks. We've had a decent amount of time here. 3 hours isn't bad. I will not be back tonight because I have other plans. But sometime during in-game night, I'll come back and catch an oddish. We got a 2-badge stream here. I don't think that's bad. But yeah, it is time to call it for now. I will be back in an evening, not this evening. Thanks for tuning in. Yep, see you next time.